Fitness with Gerry, video 8. We're going to try something a little bit new, an exercise session real time. I'll give you the exercise I'm going to do and then do the reps and continue with the workout, see how that goes. But first, here's a short video I took about 3 minutes ago. Here we have garbanzo beans, also known as chickpeas, some celery, cabbage, broccoli stalk, yucca, lots of great plant fiber, which is fuel for the good bacteria in the gut, and these dark pieces, that's raw cocoa beans that I got yesterday from a neighbor who has cocoa trees at her farm. And the yucca is also from a local. He has a bunch of yucca plants in his backyard, going with the philosophy of a whole foods plant-based diet, which is what the science is proving and has proven is one of the best ways to eat. Also, I wanted to show you, so here's the area we're doing our training and stretching. I've spoken a few times about being so close to the nature, and I just wanted to show you how close we are. Now, on that giant fruit tree, I saw 3 days ago 4 monkeys about the size of my hand, black with a white patch around the mouth and nose. They jumped from that fruit tree to this orange tree to this other tree, medicinal plant called Tree of Life. And then they jumped to that post, jumped onto that shelter, which you might not be able to see from the tree, and they jumped back into the jungle. I'd seen them a few times, but never so close, and I hear them regularly at night with their calls back and forth to each other. So now we're going to do a workout, and let's have some fun. So you saw my breakfast waiting for me after the workout, pointing because right beside the camera is my little cooking station, and you saw the beautiful nature I have right beside me. And repeating again, whole foods, plant-based diet. Science is proving it's the way to go. So let's get started. First, I want to show you a stretch for the knees. I did a little bit of earlier stretching just to get my body ready. But the one I want to show you, there's 2. So here you put your hands on the top of your knees and you just do small circles, which is getting the ligaments on all 4 sides of the knee a little bit warmed up and ready for moving. Good exercise stretch to do before any kind of activity, walking, going upstairs, and then just a very gentle push to straighten the ligaments at the back of the knee. So that's number 1. And number 2, get the legs a little bit spread apart. So I'm pointing one foot in this direction. This foot I have just brought the toes in a little bit, trying to keep the hips pointing forward, and then again doing about 4 or 5 circles with the knees. With the knee. This knee is not doing anything. And I'm also feeling right now in the groin, it's getting a nice stretch. This is also really good if you are involved in a sport that requires a lot of quick starts and stops, like hockey, soccer, any kind of racket sport. So now I'm going to switch. This foot's moving this way. Now this foot is perpendicular to this foot. Hips are straight. and I'm going to do about 4 or 5 circles in each direction, trying to keep the spine straight. And switching direction. You can take your time with this. Yeah, I'm feeling a few things get adjusted. So that is the stretch for today. Now the first exercise is going to be for legs, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to be jumping. Here I have just this padding. I don't want to use my yoga mat because the stool could damage. I don't want to use my straw mat because it's a bit slippery, and I don't want my feet to be on the cold concrete floor. So I've used this. And here I have my stool. Now, if you're not comfortable jumping, you can just step up and step down, alternating which foot you're leading with. So maybe you can do 5 leading with the right foot, and then 5 leading with the left foot. Or the other option is that you don't jump up on the stool, you just jump on the ground. So what I'll be doing is I'll be jumping up and then down into a squat. Okay, I'll show you sideways. It's important when you do the squat that your back stays straight and your abdominals stay engaged. So I'm going to do a set of those, and we'll come back for the next exercise. Okay, so we did that first set. I did a set of 10, took 10, about a minute rest, and then I did 10 more, feeling a fairly good burn on this part of my leg towards the end of that second group of 10. And I took about a minute rest before starting the camera. Let me get my wind back so I can talk. Also wanted to mention about being close to nature. 2 mornings ago in this corner I saw a giant black spider. He was crawling, and if he continued to crawl he would have gone into my bedroom, and I don't want a giant black jungle spider in my bedroom. So I took my spray bottle and I sprayed him to get him to turn around and go back outside. I've seen 5 of these giant spiders. Some are brown, some are black, which is part of life being so close to nature. Anyways, next exercise is for the back. This muscle right here, but the shoulder is going to be a little bit involved. Also this muscle and the bicep. It's a row. I am using this stool, but you can use either the back of a chair or the seat of a chair, or you can use a workout bench where you would have one knee on the bench and that same side hand on the bench and do the row. So I'll show you. The important thing is the back is straight, the knees are a little bit bent, and the pelvis is tucked under, and your abdominals are engaged. So bringing the elbow up, it's close to the ribs, my head is straight, neck is neutral. So that's the movement. Let me show you from this angle. Fairly simple. The back muscle that we're training is strong, and this homemade dumbbell isn't quite so heavy, so I'll do a fair number of reps alternating on both sides, and I'll be standing on the pad so my feet don't get cold, and we'll come back for the next exercise. Okay, I did 20 of those rows on each arm, taking about 5 or 10 seconds rest in between. Then I repeated that twice, 20 on each arm, for a total of 40 for each arm and that side of the back. So the next exercise, but first I don't think I mentioned, with this raw plant-based diet, it's best to minimally cook the vegetables so the plant fiber stays intact, because the gut bacteria wants the plant fiber. If you cook it too much, the plant fiber becomes a lot softer and less useful for the gut bacteria. So the veggies cooked for only about 5 minutes, and the raw cocoa bean went in for about a minute. The raw cocoa bean is what chocolate's made from, but to get that intense chocolate flavor, it has to be roasted, the cocoa bean. And that roasting does a bit of damage. So I've luckily found raw cocoa beans and have been experimenting, including it with my meals. The chickpeas, they need some preparation and they need to be cooked to remove the lectins, which can potentially damage the body. Next exercise, going back to jumping, but now we're going to do a little bit of twisting. Okay, so here I can start on the ground or on the stool. As before with the instruction, you can just stay on the ground and step up, or you can do these jumps without using the stool. So starting here, I am going to do a quarter twist, come back up, and then doing that opposite quarter twist to get back up onto the stool. And following with a squat. Okay, important thing again, back is straight, pelvis tucked in, abdominals are engaged, and my gaze is up and not down. So I'll probably do similar as before, and then we'll come back for the next exercise. Okay, as the first set of jumps, I did the same number of repetitions. I did 10, and this time only took about 30 seconds rest, and did 10 more. And I waited about a minute just to let me catch my wind, make it easier to talk. But I want to keep my heart rate up, which is the basis of cardiovascular training. So I'm a little bit winded as I speak, but I think it's still clear enough. Now we're going back to a row, but a little bit different. I'm going to do a bit of a whipping motion, which is a bit advanced. So if you're not comfortable with this, then do the same thing that we did the first time. So I'll show you this angle. So it's kind of like starting a lawnmower. I am going to whip the dumbbell up into the air. Adds extra difficulty, and when the dumbbell's up in the air, I'll show you this angle. The shoulder muscles and the elbow and the wrist and the ribs and the core have to work to balance that weight above my head. So I'm going to do that set, probably 10 on each side, do that twice, and we'll come back for the next exercise. Okay, so I got 10 reps on each side with that lawn mower whipping action, and then I repeated that twice, so each side got 20 reps, and I didn't take any break in between. But if you need to take a few moments, 30 seconds or a minute, by all means take that break. I also want to say the lifting up is a whipping motion using a bit of momentum, but it's important to control when you lower the dumbbell back to the ground, just to protect. And it also gets the core muscles a lot more involved if you're doing it slowly. After I had done those reps, I did a little bit of a stretch because I could feel a bit of tightness in my lower back, and I'll show you. So you bend forward, knees are bent, arms are behind your knees, and then I slowly straighten my legs, letting my head fall down, and I get a nice stretch in the lower back and between the shoulder blades. I'll show you from this angle. So arms are behind the knees. My hand, one hand is grabbing my thigh, the other hand is grabbing my arm, and I just straighten those legs, and I held it for about 20 seconds. Final leg exercise, and my goal is about 20 or 25 minutes of exercise, which depending on your goals might not be enough. You could use this as a warm-up or repeat the whole sequence 2 or 3 times. I think a little bit more holistically. You know, earlier I did about half an hour of stretching. I'll probably do some yoga later today, and I live an active lifestyle, so the 20-25 minute workout, sometimes I go 2 days on, 1 day off. Sometimes I go 1 day with the exercise and then 1 day off. So my goal is about 25 minutes, and this will equal about 25 minutes, all included. So the next exercise is, I don't know what they're called. It's a little bit of a dance, but I'm going to do a bunch of these and probably take a break and then do more. My goal might be 1 minute of this, a short break, and then 1 more minute. I'll tell you when we come back for the last upper body exercise. Okay, got a good workout there. The heart rate went up and I felt again a little bit of burning, and also now the calves were involved. I did a number count. I went up to 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 60. Took about a minute break and then did 60 more. Now, as mentioned prior, if you don't want to jump up, you can just use the ground, or you can use a stair, or you can use a book that's a little bit lower. Depends on your goals and your fitness level. Now the final back exercise, I am going to do some chin-ups. I have a bar that I hung from the framing of the roof, made of a strong piece of bamboo. I am going to do, first of all, as many as I can with the hands gripped this way. Then I'll take a short break and do the same process, as many as I can with my hands positioned this way. Short break again, and then I'll finish off with another group with my hands this way. No point to show this because chin-ups is one of those exercises where about 90% of people can't do. Many people cannot lift their body weight. So if you know chin-ups, you don't need to see. If you can't do chin-ups, you can repeat that first exercise or the second exercise, or a combination of those two. So that was today's workout, and I'll finish up soon, and then I'll let my body relax a little bit, reheat my tasty breakfast, and then I'll upload the video. I have to walk upstairs to where the Wi-Fi is, and it'll be online for you to watch. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.